welcome to Honey and Me. I'm Susan. Gracie and I are off on an overnight car camping trip, and we are heading to Vancouver. My reason for this is because I am going to Vancouver to pick up three of my grandkids who are coming over on the ferry to spend about a week with us at our house. This is how we do the exchange. Is they come across on the ferry, I drive the 4 hours from our house to the ferry to pick them up, and then drive the 4 hours back to our house. Usually I just do it in one day, but I thought, I've got the car camper. Why don't I go and spend the night? This is going to be the first time that I've car camped in a big city. Normally my car camping trips are in the woods or along the sides of roads. Because we're not taking Freddie with us, I won't have to do any late night dog walks or early morning dog walks. And Gracie has her litter box in here, and she's good to go. She is acting a little bit nervous this trip, which is very weird for Gracie because she is such a chill cat. I think it's because Fred's not with us, and she doesn't quite understand what's going on. That's my take anyway. She's been in here meowing and howling and just kind of weird. She's never acted that way before getting into the car. And she's traveled since the get-go. When she was a tiny kitten and I got her, she's been traveling back and forth from our house to family, up to the cabin, all over the United States in the travel trailer. She's a well-traveled cat. She's put on a lot of miles. And for some reason, this trip is just freaking her out a little bit. And I think it's because Freddie's not here in the car. Freddie is her big brother, and she just loves Freddie. And Freddie wishes she didn't love him quite so much. It may be because of that. I'm going to IKEA, which I'm really excited about. And they have parking that is undercover, so I will be okay leaving Gracie in the car undercover out of the sun at IKEA. Anything else that I choose to do, and I don't really have any other plans, but anything else that I choose to do, I will maybe just put her in her backpack and take her with me, because I'm not going to leave her in the car in this sunny weather. It's way too hot to be doing that. I'm not really sure where I'm going to be spending the night. There are a few options on iOverlander. I tend to rely on iOverlander's reviews and recommendations because other people have already been there and done that. I am a little bit nervous about spending the night in the city because I am not a city girl. I was born in Vancouver, but that does not make me a city girl. I am definitely a country girl. We're going to be going through Manning Park, which is a beautiful park. There's lots of campgrounds there. There's a lodge there. In the wintertime, people go skiing there. It's a really pretty drive. It's quite windy if you've never done it before. I tend to not like it because I've done it so many times. I have driven to Vancouver to pick up kids from the ferry and back again. I've lost count how many times I've done that. And also, every time we want to go see our family, we head that way as well. So it's a drive I've done a lot. And my husband, when he was still working as a Mountie in the Princeton area, he was working highway patrol. So he drove that highway a lot and gave out a lot of tickets to speeders. So we're both really, really tired of that highway. But it's still beautiful, and there are some gorgeous mountain views as you're going through Manning Park. Hi. Yes. Oh, there. No, it's fine, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. You too. Bye-bye. Gracie's now found her perch on top of the cooler. She seems to be a little happier, a little bit more relaxed without Fred here, which is good. We're just coming up here on the west gate of Manning Park. We're going to McDonald's, and all I did was go to the bathroom because I didn't want to leave Gracie out here any longer than I had to. I've put up the window things on the side of the car as well as on the front where the sun was shining through. And it's warm in here, but it's not unbearably warm or unsafely warm, I guess. But now I can go through the drive-through and get a coffee without worrying that it's going to take too long. So that's what I chose to do. So let's get these things down and put away. After what feels like a heck of a long time, I am just about to IKEA now. I'm going to be crossing over the Portman Bridge, which is a pretty cool bridge. It used to be a toll bridge. They charged the toll through your insurance for quite a few years before they paid for the bridge, and then they stopped charging the toll, which was really cool. So now you can go across the bridge without paying the toll. So the first place I'm going to go in IKEA is the bathroom. I'm going to eat my dinner here tonight. They're open till 9. They have a special thing on Thursdays where if you have their family membership, which is a free thing, you can get your dinner for half price. So I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to have the salmon because their salmon is really good. I'm going to go do some shopping. It also seems to be quite cool in here, so I'm not going to be worried about Gracie overheating. Heading out of the IKEA. I am sitting in a Walmart parking lot, and there are no overnight parking signs all over this parking lot. There used to be, up until it sounds like June, and it's now August, signs that said 24-hour parking. Obviously, they've changed their minds, whether that's a Tsawwassen village town policy or I don't know. But iOverlander says, with people having posted stuff up until June, when there no overnight parking signs seem to have gone up. Maybe it was earlier than that, I'm not really sure. But people saying that even though the signs are there, people are ignoring them and are spending the night in the parking lot. And right now there's at least, well, there's two right behind me, two Class C motorhomes. There's another Class C I can see on the other side of the parking lot. A truck and camper pulled in, and he's gone into the store. There's two other RVs parked around the corner, around the side of the Walmart. So it seems to be that that is the case. And a camper van is just pulled in now. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on what's going on in the parking lot. I do not want to get kicked out in the middle of the night because I wouldn't have anywhere else to go, I guess. I could probably park on the street somewhere. So I'm a little bit nervous about about staying here where it says so blatantly no overnight parking. But if they're allowing people to do it regardless, I mean, it may be store policy, it may be the parking, whoever owns the parking lot or the ground that the Walmart is on. That usually tends to be the case, is that whoever owns the property, Walmart doesn't necessarily own the property. So the person who owns the property may have decided that overnight parking is not something they want to happen. I mean, for the most part, I don't think it hurts anything for people to sleep in their vehicles in a parking lot. It's the few bad eggs who, you know, drain their tank or throw their garbage or take up residence in the parking lot that spoils it for everybody else. And that really ticks me off. I'm nice and close to the ferry terminal. I can get up in the morning. I can go over to A&W and grab a coffee. There's a bunch of stores around here that I can wander around until it's time for me to pick the grandkids up at 11 tomorrow morning. So I am just sitting here kind of eyeballing everybody who pulls in a vehicle that looks like it'd be camped in. Store closes at 10 and it's now 20 to 10. Oh, and that was the other thing. When I pulled in, I think it was like a minivan, stopped behind my car and put on their hazard lights. And I could see that the person driving it had one of those orange safety vest type things on. And I thought, oh, they've seen me already. I mean, I've just pulled into the parking lot and they're already taking down my license plate number because I'm going to spend the night. It's like they can read my mind. But I think actually they were taking down the license plate number of one of the big RVs that's parked behind me here. The lady was actually sitting outside in a chair eating nacho chips or something like that and reading a book, which to me, when they don't want you to spend the night in their parking lot, you need to be respectful and not, you know, sit in your lawn chair outside your RV. To me, that's just stupid. But anyway, so we're going to see if anybody's going to get kicked out of here at 10 o'clock. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a drive around and just see who's looks like they're spending the night here. And once I do that, I will probably pick out a spot that I think I will be not quite so conspicuous in. Maybe I'll realize where the employee parking is. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. I'm now parked around the side of the Walmart. The entrance to this plaza is just over there where the sign is. And there's a truck and travel trailer parked over there. The guy was just out walking his dog. He's got his slide pulled out just like maybe 6 inches, so probably needs to have it pulled out to get by it. And then over here is a fairly new RV, and both of these have been parked here since I pulled into the parking lot about an hour ago. I'm parked behind this one. There's like a little bit of a, you know, a garden area kind of thing between us. And I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna get my book out. Maybe I'll watch a video and see what happens. So I just had this thought. What if all these RVs and stuff are waiting to catch the last ferry over to Vancouver Island? The very first ferry in the morning, which is about 5:30, I think, maybe 5:45, and the last ferry over are way cheaper than the ferries that run in the middle of the daytime. So what if that's what they're doing? They're just sitting here waiting until they need to go and line up for the ferry. I'm second guessing this whole thing. Oh dear. I don't know. Probably way overthinking this. We've stayed in Walmarts before where it's got signs up that say you're not allowed to stay there. We just stayed there and have had no problem at all. But then I'm with my husband. We're in a travel trailer. We stand out a lot more, but yeah, we've never had a problem. But yeah, it's just making me nervous. And Gracie is being very affectionate right now, right? Yeah. Anyway, maybe I'll wait a little longer before I actually put my blinds up and stuff and see what happens. Okay, so I checked the ferry schedule and the last ferry leaves at 10:45. And if you have a reservation, you need to be there between an hour and half an hour before the ferry leaves. It's now an hour before the last ferry leaves. It's 9:45. And both of these RVs are still here. So yeah, I don't think they're going to catch the ferry. Well, unless they don't have a reservation. But I mean, if they were going to get on the ferry, they would probably be leaving about now anyway. Good morning. Well, that was a relatively good night's sleep, considering I was quite nervous about sleeping here. Everything went really well, except for the fact that I packed the wrong window covers. Yep. We've given our daughter and son-in-law the Matrix. Long story short is a deer hit their car and it was a write-off, and the insurance wasn't going to give them very much money for it. So we gifted them the Matrix because we really didn't need it anymore, and it was gifted to us, so we wanted to pass it along. Anyway, I had made window covers for the Matrix and I'd made window covers for the RAV. And I asked them if they wanted the window covers for the Matrix, and they said sure. So I have packaged them up to take to them, and somehow I managed to put the wrong window covers for the back side windows with the wrong package. So when I went to put the back window covers up on the side windows here, they were too small. And I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? About a quarter of the window was uncovered. I had to kind of wrap this fabric from the front curtain that hangs between the back and the front of the car around, and I undid the window and rolled it up. A bit of a fiasco, but I managed. And I've got some holes. You can see the light coming through here. I've got some holes, but it's not too bad. And these windows back here are tinted as well. So yeah, it was interesting. A bit of a panic. Just lay in the back here for a while last night and watched some Netflix, and then I went to sleep, and I slept quite well until about 4:30, which is when I usually wake up at home anyway, and was able to go back to sleep. And it's now just after 6:30, so I'm going to get up and get a move on and go find myself some coffee. I was nervous about staying here, so I'm glad that it went well. Anyway, I'm going to go get dressed and go find some coffee because I really need some. I got dressed and got things sort of tidied up in the back, and now I'm off to grab a coffee at Tim Hortons, and then we're going to go to the beach and get things set up for the grandkids to be able to sit in the back, get rid of the bed and everything. So we're heading out to the beach out by the ferry terminal. There's a couple of places that we can just go and sit on the beach or sit in the car and look at the view. I'm just going to drink my coffee, eat my Tim Hortons egg white bit things, which are really good. Don't usually eat breakfast, but when I get to have a Tim Hortons little egg white thing, that's cool. And then we'll get around to cleaning up the back of the car and getting it ready for the grandkids. So yeah, it's not until 11 o'clock that I have to pick them up at the ferry, so I've got time to kill. It's not really anything here that I particularly want to go and see, so I'm just gonna spend the morning just doing nothing. We'll see how that goes. We're at the beach. This is right beside the road where you go out to the Tsawwassen Ferry. For the moment, I'm just going to enjoy my Tim Hortons coffee and the view, and probably watch a little bit of my Netflix show that I started watching last night. 3 hours still to kill, so this is not a bad place to kill the time. Oh, and also I need to get the back cleaned up and ready for the kids to get into.